Okay, we need to learn how to use find probabilities using a calculator. Let me show you why. In the previous exercise 5a, we used this information to find percentages or probabilities of the data that lay exactly on the standard deviations away. So it's awfully convenient that this question asked what percentage of the peach cans lay between 480 and 486. Why? Because one standard deviation away was 480, the middle was 486. That's all well and good. But what if the question asked what percentage of the peach cans lies between 481 and 482? Can we answer that question using this information? No. All right? So the way that you answer those is, as a general maths student, you're using a graphics calculator. So to do the probabilities using a calculator, clearly the diagram with the perfect normal distribution works if the questions ask about data lying between numbers that are exact standard deviations away. For other numbers, you need normal CDF. So get these notes down. How do you access normal CDF? I'll demonstrate it now. Can you see over the vase button on your calculator? Does it say DISTR in blue? Yes or no? What do you reckon that stands for? Yes, distribution. So you highlight that. And number 2, normal CDF. You only use normal CDF and inverse normal number 3 in general maths. You may have used normal PDF in methods, but you don't touch that here. So you select normal CDF. And when you do normal CDF, except for one student that has the older calculator, right? Everyone else should be seeing a screen that looks like this. And in these steps, I'll explain what you're typing in, okay? You'll see a screen like this. The function normal CDF accepts 4 numbers. It wants the lower number. It wants the upper number. It requires the mean, which it labels as the little U with the tail. And it wants the standard deviation. In your older calculator, that's what it's asking for. It wants you to type in lower, comma, upper, comma, mean, and standard deviation in that order. So her particular calculator, it doesn't say this. Her particular calculator just says normal CDF bracket, and it's sitting there going, what do you want? And so she has to type that in. Okay? You have a slight advantage. You get it asks you for it. After entering the expected numbers, you select paste. Press enter on the older calculator because there's no paste. It doesn't ask you to paste in yours. And what that tells you, the calculator tells you the percentage or proportion of the data that lies between lower and upper numbers you entered. Can I give you some time to get what you need there? Really, the most important part of that is 1, 2, and 3. If you don't like getting those notes, because when you practice these questions, you should be able to remember stuff. But if you want all this other stuff, that's what it's there for. So get at least 1, 2, and 3, yes?
My calculator doesn't show like that.
Yours is an older one too? So yeah, is yours just flashing normal CDF bracket and then nothing else? Yeah, so you, just like her, you put in the lower number and then put a comma, and then you put in the upper number, comma, then you put in the mean and the standard deviation. Alright? You're not disadvantaged, it's just less information. It doesn't ask you as nice. So a couple of minutes to get what you need there. No one's rocking a Casio this year, are they? You are? Okay. I'll need to sit down with you and give you specific instructions. Yours, as far as I remember, it's similar, but let me sit down with you. Anyone going to have a heart attack if I move down here? You're working out for these kind of questions. Please do not do what some people have done and just write the answer. Okay? Because these questions are worth 2 marks. So if all you've done is say the wrong percentage to answer the question, what are you going to get out of 2? 0. But if you show normal CDF and you show me that you tried to put in the right lower, the right upper, you stuffed up putting in the mean, but then you wrote the right standard deviation, how many things did you do wrong? 1. So you'll lose 1 mark. Is 50% better than 0? So please show the working. It happens every year, and every year I tell people, I've freaking recorded it this time, so I'll shove that in your face if you tell me that I didn't show you that that's how you show the working out, yeah? Your working out should show that. Now we need to be able to deal with the idea of dealing with less than and greater than. You have some questions that ask for the percentage of data that's less than or greater than a certain number. Why is that a problem? Because normal CDF is asking for lower and it's asking for upper, right? But what have we established? Does the normal distribution go on forever?
Yeah.
So how do I define the lower or the upper if I want everything to the extreme negative infinity or the extreme positive infinity if it's greater than? So this is how you deal with it. You deal with it differently on the Casio. On the Casio, he literally needs to press 9 just for however long he feels okay with. All right? Whereas we have a number in the Texas Instruments that represents infinity, or the greatest number or the smallest number that we can deal with. So if you had a question that was Px is less than n, means I care about all the data below n to negative infinity. Why? Because that normal curve goes on forever in the negative infinity direction. If my question is asking for greater than or equal to, I care about positive infinity. So how do we deal with that on our calculator, for a Texas Instruments calculator, to express, so this is what you would get now, and the example after, to express negative or positive infinity. Can you see above the comma button here? What letters do you see above the comma button? 2 watts. 2 E's. So when you press that, you press second comma, it says E. The closest to infinity that we can get on our Texas Instruments calculator is e to the power of 99. If we wanted negative infinity, so the extreme on the left-hand side, do you guys remember what you did to do negatives in TVM Solver? Did you just press the take sign? You press the negative sign in brackets here to represent negative infinity. If you're going less than, so you would press negative second comma 99. For our student with the Casio calculator, you would go negative 99999, do that for a while until you feel all right about it. And then if you wanted positive infinity, you just go 99999 for a while until it feels okay. All right. Don't just do 3 nines though, it won't be enough. It needs to be for a while. So just press for a bit. Let's demonstrate how to answer these questions. We have a variable that's normally distributed with mean 40, standard deviation 10. I want the probability or the proportion of data that lies between 37 and 48. Is there a well-defined lower and well-defined upper here? So your working out should look like this. Normal, CDF. What is the lower number that I'm interested in this particular question? 37, comma, older calculator, you would put a comma. What's the upper number? 48. What's the mean? And what's the standard deviation? 10. And so I'll chuck that in my calculator. 37, 48, 40, 10. Paste. If you're on the older calculator, you press just enter. the calculator is just double checking that you entered the right stuff. You press enter, and that tells me 0.41 to 2 decimal points. So what is that as a percentage? 41%. So therefore 41% between 37 and 48. What would I enter for greater than 45? You need to think about this. We need to use the infinity stuff. If I want to know the percentage of data that lies above 45, I'm doing this situation here. So which version of infinity am I doing? Positive infinity or negative?
Positive.
And is it going to be is that infinity going to be the lower or the upper? Upper, it's all the way over there. Okay? Your calculator is going to freak out if you made it the lower. It's going to get confused. So you go second, dist, normal CDF. What is my lower for this? What's my lower point? Where does my limit? Where's this line sit for this? 45. Then infinity, second comma, E99 is the biggest number. U, 99999 forever. Enter. So I'll enter the, my working out, 45, E99, 40, 10 equals 0.31 to 2 decimal points. Therefore, 31% lies above 45. Last demonstration, normal CDF. What numbers am I going to put into normal CDF to answer this question? What percentage of the data lies below 26? What would the lower be? Negative. What? Keep going.
Negative E 299.
Yes. Negative. So the negative in brackets, second comma, E99. What's the upper limit going to be? 26. The mean and standard deviation are the same. So normal CDF, negative E99, 26, 40, 10, 0.08 to 2 decimal points. So therefore 8% lies below 26. Right? If it helps you to draw a little curve on the side to visualize what you're doing, you're not going to lose marks there. I encourage you to do that if you're not confident, just to keep in mind what you're trying to calculate. But that is percentages of proportions using the graphics calculator. That is 5B. So your task now in the double to end of EX5A, EX5B. You'll finish up tomorrow. I'll sit down with you because you're away on the Fridays to give you a taste of what we're doing tomorrow, because that'll be finished. All you're doing next week is revision. Next Thursday, you'll do your in-class practice test, which I'll mark and give back to you, and then you got the exam in week 5.